Adam and Tim, thanks very much. What an exciting game there in Philadelphia with Texas winning by 1. This is the 2013 SWAC Football Championship presented by McDonald's. The Southern Jaguars taking on the Jackson State Tigers with former NFL quarterback Jay Walker on Mark Neely. Southern has the only points under Greg Pittman, 41-yard field goal. This is Jackson State of the blue, and their quarterback Clayton Moore eludes a couple of tacklers before scooting forward all the way up to the 49-yard line for a Jackson State first down, a gain of 10. Well, Moore earlier in the game coughed up the football, which led to the Southern points on this roughing the punter. Soden was roughed, and that kept the drive alive for the Jaguars, and that allowed Pittman to hit the 41-yarder, and that's been the only points so far in this game. Jackson State a first down at their own 49-yard line. Just under 2 minutes to go now in this first quarter. Here's a run for Sims. He barrels forward. He has a first down all the way up to the 40-yard line of Southern. An 11-yard gain for Rakeem Sims, and Virgil Williams brings him down.
And Anthony Balanciers played a fantastic game, number 49 on the right side, but look at that. Poor tackling. That's a perfect example why coaches say wrap up. He was going for the big hit, didn't finish off the tackle, allowed the runner to pick up yards after contact.
Balancier comes off the field on first down. Sims bounces forward to the 38 for 2 yards. Number 90, Gabe Eccles, all 5'11", 307 pounds with the tackle.
And I believe with Clayton Moore starting to run the football, now we're starting to see the diversity that the Jackson State offense can present. A couple quarterback draws, and now they can throw the ball. And receivers getting open downfield.
Incomplete at the 30-yard line. Going for Zach Pendleton has been his primary target this year.
Neither quarterback has been sharp. In a game like this, you have to hit Pendleton in stride. There's room to get him this football so he can run. Throws it too far ahead of the receiver. He has to leave his feet. Incomplete pass. I think both quarterbacks for each team need to settle down a little bit and just make more accurate throws.
Jackson State's Clayton Moore is 2 of 7 through the air with only 12 yards passing so far in this first quarter. A third down and 8 for Jackson State. Just got the playoff in time. He shovels it a little. That is a forward pass. A forward pass incomplete for Sims. And an awkward looking play there.
Yeah, and this is a good job by the Southern defense of confusing Clayton Moore. They give an overload to the left side. They run the ball the opposite direction. And Moore just trying to make a football play. Forward pass. Runner back not able to hold on to it, so it goes down as another incomplete pass for Clayton Moore.
R.C. Williamson, who's from Australia, on to punt for Jackson State. Virgil Williams back at his own 10. Left-footed punter angling to the near side and nicely caught him down right there at the 3-yard line. A 35-yard punt, no return. Penn Southern inside their own 5.
Monday Night Football, Cowboys, Bears, 8:25 on ESPN.
The 2013 SWAC Football Championship is presented by McDonald's, I'm loving it, and in part by Lexus. The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here, now through January 2nd.
Well, it's cold around much of the country, cold here in Houston. Welcome back to the SWAC Championship. With the roof closed at Reliant Stadium. SWAC Championship presented by McDonald's. Also, this is part of Jimmy V Week for cancer research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. Michael Perkins was the Jackson State player that caught that punt at the 3, so that's where Southern begins. At 7 combined possessions in this game, 5 punts, the 1 field goal for Southern, and 1 fumble. There's a nice defensive play right there to limit Tillery to no gain. Ryan Griffin, number 26, with the play. Ray Joseph, the quarterback for Southern. He's the SWAC co-offensive player of the year this year. Comes in with 27 TDs, 11 picks. Leading the SWAC with just about 270 yards passing per game.
Back up, coaches.
And what you notice, you don't see a lot of bubble screens thrown to Ray Joseph. They throw the ball downfield in Baton Rouge, and 3,200 yards in the air. That's a phenomenal senior season for Dre Joseph. Gone through different coaching changes there and different offensive coordinators throughout his career. And he's persevered and rewarded by bringing the Jaguars here to Houston for the SWAC championship.
They're going to let the clock run down here in this first quarter. So the 41-yard field goal for Greg Pittman. The only points of the first quarter in this 2013 SWAC championship game. Jackson State was in the title game a year ago and lost in OT. They say they have unfinished business. 1 quarter gone. 3-0 Jacks.
The Heisman Trophy presentation, December 14th at 8 on ESPN.
2013 SWAC championship game presented by McDonald's from Reliant Stadium in Houston. We're ready to begin the second quarter. Field goal, the only scoring so far in this game. Southern leading Jackson State 3-0. These teams met in late September in Baton Rouge, and a couple of Ryan Deasing field goals were the difference in a 5-point win for Jackson State in Baton Rouge. Glad you can join us from chilly Houston. We're happy to be indoors along with Jay Walker. I'm Mark Neely. Neither offense, though, Jay, really has gotten things clicking yet.
I think for Jackson State, you're starting to see the rush show up. This is the ball club that hasn't played in 3 weeks. They look rusty. And for Southern University, they've had to overcome some battles on field position, but they are fortunate to have the lead. Their defense came up with a turnover, but look for teams to relax a little bit, and I really expect to see an exciting football game from here on.
Dre Joseph, who's the co-offensive player of the year in the SWAC, haven't really seen him get it going yet.
Yeah, I think both quarterbacks have been a little bit rusty, but Dre Joseph has to throw the football well in order for Southern University to have a chance at victory. And once again, they're losing the battle of field position, but he can make it up in a hurry with his quick release and strong arm.
Joseph on 3rd down and 6. Play fake, wants to throw, and he finds the tight end at the 10-yard line. This is Rashawn Island, and he's up to the 19-yard line at a first down for Southern U. 12-yard gain.
Island's a guy that they think has it talent to play at the next level in the tight end position. Nice frame, 6'3", 257 pounds, but you see Joseph play action, good ball skills, accurate throw, hit the tight end, pick up the first down.
Joseph immediately throws to Quinn, who's upended at the 21-yard line by Ryan Griffin. Boy, we've said Ryan Griffin's name a lot already in this football game. And also McCree helping out on the hit. It is a gain of 3.
Really impressed with Ryan Griffin. Very active from, they call it that tiger position, where they like to put him close to where they anticipate the ball going. And once the ball gets in his vicinity, play's over.
With 3 receivers to the short side of the field, including Quinn, nearest. And
false start. Offense.
This is an epidemic in this game where really both teams, Jay, have had delay of games, false starts, way too many.
And I think you're seeing it from the offensive line because each team has a very good opposing defensive line. The offensive lineman a little bit jittery. Got to settle down and wait for the ball to be snapped.
That's the 3rd flag on the Southern offense already in this game. Last one on Reginald Redding, defensive guard. So it's 2nd down and 12. Joseph with time, going deep, incomplete at midfield. Having to turn to try to make that catch was Mike Jones. And on the coverage, Antonio Sutton as well as Griffin.
Jones was a name that the coaches gave us they thought could sneak behind the secondary of Jackson State. You see Dre Joseph, give him time to run downfield. He beats his man clearly, but once again, not an accurately thrown ball from Joseph. If he hits him in stride, it becomes a foot race to the end zone.
Southern coaches told us that Mike Jones the fastest wideout on their team. That's Jones there, number 89.
And he got by his defender in a hurry. I believe him.
You got one-on-one matchup here. This is where Joseph's going again down the sideline, but there was some contact at the 40, and the flags come out. Flag back at the line of scrimmage at the 17 as well.
That's a good matchup between Quay Cox, an all-conference defender from Jackson State, and Mike Jones, the burner. And you saw even with the contact, Mike Jones was able to blow by Cox.
Our referee, Anthony Johnson, with the call.
Offside. Defense, number 20. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Defense, number 20. Penalty will be enforced 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, that's a rough snap for a defender when you're offsides. And then you get beat and you commit another penalty.
Well, that's what speed will make you do. You know, he knew that Mike Jones was in front of him, and he wanted to get a jam on him, so he jumped early. And then once the play was started, Cox was caught in a bad position, and Mike Jones was running by him. He had to make contact.
And those two are lined up again. Here's a pass over the middle. It's caught at midfield by Doss, who tumbles forward all the way to the 41-yard line. First down, Southern. Lee Doss, their leading receiver, a 27-yard gain.
Here's why. See, they're paying respect to the go route on the outside. By them doing that, that puts the safety in a bind. Take a look here. He's not willing to give up the hash because they're worried about the speed. The moment you look to the outside, that opens it up for Doss in the middle of the field. And a nice throw from Dre Joseph.
Well, first down, and Joseph looking to throw on first down, but he's being chased and just flips it out. He was outside the tackle box and throws it onto the Jackson State bench. Robert Smith was the one in pursuit of Dre Joseph.
And the one thing Dre Joseph is not going to do is he's not going to run that football. I mean, he's your prototypical drop back quarterback. You can tell he stands tall in the pocket and firm, but he's not the running threat that you would expect to see from that position.
Second down and 10. Still early in this second quarter. Delay goes nowhere. In fact, a loss of 2. It's Marianne McCree, a redshirt junior from Chester, South Carolina, on the tackle for JSU.
And what a year McCree has had. Started off the season as a backup linebacker, earned himself a playing time, and when you talk to Coach Commonses, he said, looking back, he should have been the starter all season long, and he's played phenomenal. That's his 12th tackle for a loss on the season, to go along with 2.5 sacks. He's been a difference maker in this Tiger defense.
And really limited Leonard Tillery, running back for Southern. Tillery, 5 of his 7 carries have been from no gain or negative yardage so far. Here's Joseph showing Jay that he can run a little bit if need be, but he's collared down at the 34-yard line by McCree.
Good job of escaping out of the pocket. You can tell not going to win that foot race to the outside. Takes an awkward tackle. I start to think this is 4-down territory if you're Southern University. You've already got the 3 points to have Jackson State in the trailing position. You got an all-conference, all-offensive player of the year weapon in Dre Joseph and Lee Doss. I think you go for it. I like the decision.
And the Southern fans do too. 4th down and 3. Play clock's at 3, and I believe Southern's going to use a timeout.
Timeout. Jackson State.
Well,
first charge timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
Jackson State had a late substitution coming on, so JSU is the team that uses the timeout. And Southern looks like they're going for it on 4th and 3. Our coverage of college basketball continues tonight on ESPNU. First at 9, the Crimson Tide square off against the USF Bulls. And then at 11, the Aggies take on Kevin Pangos and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. It's a college basketball doubleheader tonight on ESPNU. Both games also live on Watch ESPN. Dawson Odoms and the Jags are going to go for it here on 4th down from the 34-yard line of Jackson State. And you like the call. They've converted 42% on 4th down this year.
You figure if you punt the ball to the end zone, you net 12 yards. Too far for a field goal try. 4th and 3, if you can protect your quarterback, you've got playmakers, and Mike Jones has shown the ability to get by defenders, and Lee Doss, they've got him lined up right here in the slot.
And the throw is low, but caught on his feet, heading towards the end zone. Touchdown! Willie Quinn. So on 4th and 3, It's a 34-yard touchdown to the sophomore from Miami, his 6th TD of the year. 9-0 Southern.
Southern did a really good job of breaking the line of scrimmage and hurrying up, getting to the line of scrimmage, calling the play. He gets behind the linebackers, finds a soft spot, becomes a foot race. And the sophomore from Miami takes it to the house.
Point after is up and good for Pittman. They're going for it on 4th and 3. Pays off for the Jags. A 10-play drive. 97-yard drive. That began at their own 3, and they convert on 4th down. The touchdown for Quinn, and it's 10-0 Jaguars.
I'm a cheap bungee cord. This guy bought.
You're watching Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
This 2013 SWAC Football Championship from Reliant Stadium in Houston. Dre Joseph there on the left, his 28th touchdown pass of the season. And Willie Quinn, who in the first meeting this year with Jackson State had a team-high 79 yards, including a 43-yard catch, but no TDs in that game, has a 34-yard touchdown in this one, and a 10-0 lead for Southern. From the 3. Darius Moore up near the 20. Now the last team standing face-off Sunday at WakeMed Soccer Park for the right to be called champion. Top 2 seeds, number 2 UCLA, number 1 Florida State. The Women's College Cup championship of the NCAA Women's College Cup is presented by Northwestern Mutual Sunday at 3 here on ESPNU. Jay, time for Jackson State's offense to wake up, get out of the slumber here.
They need to get it going. I think they need to start running the football a little bit more. That was their game plan early, to try and control the line of scrimmage. They've gotten away from that. They need to find that recipe.
And Gooden coughs it up. And it looks like a heads-up play by one of the Jackson State players. Recovers it at the 30. You talk about what could have been potentially tragic for Jackson State.
Good, got the ball and good ball security, but that's just coming up and putting the helmet on the football by the safety, Deontay McDuffie, for Southern University. And Jackson State fortunate to recover the football, as you said, Mark.
And Dylan Douglas, tight end, is the one who jumped on it. Turns into a 12-yard gain. Here's the pitch on the option to Gooden. Lowers that left shoulder and powers forward to the 37-yard line.
And you can see they're starting to realize they must get back to running the football. Putting the ball in the hands of Clayton Moore, allowing him to make a decision to pitch to the runner. It seems like the offensive line for Jackson State has been awoken. And now they're starting to fire off that ball with wide open running lanes.
And you're talking a really good offensive line. Moore going to run it on the quarterback draw. Wrapped up at the 40, very close to another first down. But on that line, you got Jonathan Smith, right guard, first team all-conference. Jordan Arthur, the center, first team all-conference. Derek Jean, left tackle, second team all-SWAC. That's a very good offensive line for Jackson State.
That's supposed to be their bread and butter, and they've gotten away from it, but now they realize it's time to run the football again.
It was a first down, and a yard there for Gooden, tackled by number 57, Javon Allen. The conference awards, by the way, came out yesterday. And Jackson State, well represented. This is the Southern Jaguars, the 2 teams here in this title game. Moore. First catch for Singleton, who loses it. And this time, Southern does not. They do come up with it this time. That's Javon Allen with the recovery. Well, Jackson State just too sloppy with the football. Fumble it a second time on the drive, and this time cannot recover. The pass completed, and then Singleton coughed it up. Southern ball when we come back.
19.
Watch ESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Well, here we are with 9.5 minutes left till halftime in this 2013 SWAC Football Championship game. Southern leading 10-0. Jackson State's offense has had 5 possessions, Jake. Of those 5, 3 punts and now 2 lost fumbles.
And 0 points.
Exactly right. Play fake and going deep. But overthrows the intended receiver at the 5. Intended for Randall Menard. Coverage by Antonio Sutton, number 12. Well, we were just talking about the all-conference awards that have come out in the last couple of days here, Jay. 8 Jackson State players named all-conference. Now, that includes first and second teams. Southern only 3 players. And I think the Jags playing with a little chip on their shoulder. They thought they should have had more.
Oh, they clearly are. When you talk to Coach Odoms, he said, yeah, we made it this far, but we only have 3 all-conference selections. What does that tell you? He knows he's got a good football team, and they came in here with a chip on their shoulder.
Pulled down for a 1-yard loss there. Hogan with the defensive play.
You think, again, if you're Southern University, you got the turnover. If you can just pick up some yardage right now on 3rd down, you would probably be inclined to go for it again on 4th down, considering you got the ball on a turnover. If you can put some points on the board right now for Southern University, you put Jackson State in a tremendous bind.
Favorite, who had that last carry, went off a little bit of a hobble. Tillery now back in the backfield with 3rd down and 11 here. And Joseph, a completed pass to the 40, but shy of the marker for Lee Doss. And it's going to set up a kind of similar situation to the last drive. They're a little further towards midfield, a 9-yard gain there. It'll be 4th and 2 at the 39.
But I think that's what we talked about. They didn't have to pick it all up. You know, if you get it to within 2 or 3 where it's an attainable 4th down situation, you go for it. You cross midfield. You've received the ball on a turnover. Once again, I like the decision by Coach Odoms to elect to go for it on 4th down and really put the pressure on the Tiger defense once again.
Play clock, though, down to 5. 4th down and 2. You get the playoff in time, but Joseph now being harassed. It throws it incomplete, and they turn it over on downs.
And he missed him, too.
Hogan, Cedric Hogan, the defensive end, again there with the pressure in the backfield. So Jackson State with a defensive stand, and they'll take over on downs when we come back to Houston.
Monday Night Football, Cowboys, Bears, 8:25 on ESPN.
Who will be awarded college football's highest honor? Find out. The 2013 Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Nissan, live from New York next Saturday the 14th at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Well, on that last play, Jay, on 4th down, it looked like Joseph had an open receiver. They do lead at 10-0, but had an opportunity to extend that last drive.
All they needed was 3 yards. And take a look right here at Willie Quinn. Tell me, is he open? Does Dre Joseph miss? Get him the ball right now. He's open right there. Gets flushed out of the pocket a little bit, but you anticipate he's going to be your open receiver. Had he been able to see him open, they would have got the 1st down and then some.
But the Jackson State defense stands to help what was their 2nd fumble lost on their previous possession. Tigers from their own 39, and Moore's throw across the middle is incomplete. Perkins, the intended receiver. Moore took a shot, shaking that throwing hand as he gets up. Christian Allen came after him.
They're bringing it from everywhere. Christian Allen. Then you're also going to see the linebacker Virgil Williams, number 7, coming off the edge. So you've got a defensive lineman and a nickel back bringing pressure on Clayton Moore. And he doesn't even see the blitz coming. So they're going to bring it again.
Moore, too high. Incomplete. Evan Fosselman, the intended receiver for Jackson State. Just like that, 3rd and 10. Moore now 4-12, only 28 passing yards.
He's got to figure out a way to right the ships. And I think what you do when a quarterback is struggling with his accuracy, give him some easy throws. Give him some curl routes, 5-yard hitch route, turnaround routes, just so he can develop some type of rhythm in this football game.
Moore sets up, throws deep. His receiver adjusts and makes the grab at the 20. Pendleton. First down at the 20 of Southern. They look to their top receiver, Pendleton, who comes up with a play, a 39-yard catch.
A great job of adjusting by Pendleton to make the catch and hold on to the football. Does a good job of making the catch, securing the football, no movement. Big play for the Tigers.
Jackson State with a first down at the 22, and I think they're going to take another look at this.
The ruling
Make sure
on the
the
field
catch.
is a catch. The previous play is under review.
Good job of readjusting the football. He's got the ball firmly in there, goes to the ground. He's from that angle there. I don't see any movement of the football. It seems as if he secures it. And the key is, if you leave your feet, you must come up and show you have possession of the football.
Tell you what, that time from that angle, I don't know if we can see that again, or from this different angle. This one he may screen it. And from that one it looks okay, but the previous angle, it looked like there may have been some movement when it hit the ground.
See, it goes back to the terminology. Indisputable video.
This is the best look right here.
And I don't think it's indisputable. I think he has the football
coming
there.
Down.
He's securing the football, and it doesn't move.
Yeah,
he has a right to tuck the football.
I don't think there's enough to overturn that, do you?
I don't either. I think he has a right to secure the football against his body, and I think that's a fantastic catch made by Pendleton.
Last look was definitely the best angle. A little lower angle here we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, he's got the football.
Yeah, and that's the best angle. Great job by our crew to break that out. Nicely done. And I think from that low angle, there's nothing there to overturn it, is there?
That last angle looked like the one the first time I saw movement of the ball. So we're having debate amongst ourselves here.
And here comes the official call from Anthony Johnson, our referee.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Jackson State.
All right, it said stands, not confirmed, so there wasn't enough video evidence to overturn it. And here's that last look.
Yep, take it right there. Looked like it, but he still held on to the ball pretty good. I think that's a great job by the receiver trying to secure the football. And the call on the field, I think, was the one that they went with. Letting the play stand.
Well, Jackson State with their best drive so far this game on the first down. At the 22, and here's the fade towards the end zone. Right near the pylon, incomplete for Fosselman. Fosselman not usually the guy who they throw the fade to. He's 5'11". Pendleton, the 6'3" guy, is the one that usually throw this to.
Going to coverage where they had the one-on-one matchup outside, and he just came down foot out of bounds over the pylon.
Yeah, no way. No catch, and then he lost it at the end anyway. They stack 3 receivers there to the left side of the formation, led by Pendleton. Here's the option, and he keeps it. And Moore to the 15. He runs for 7 to bring up 3rd and a long 2.
And that's a play more I'm used to. The hard-nosed running senior playing his last collegiate football game, makes a quick decision. And these are very effective runners, you can tell. We're averaging over 4 yards per rush. Those are more like running back numbers compared to a quarterback.
Call it 3rd down and 3 on the 15 of Southern. Again, 3 receivers to the left. Moore looking that direction and dropped at the 13-yard line. On the coverage was Balancier.
They're trying to throw to the fullback who they had flanked out. Decent throw by Moore, but Dylan Douglas, the H-back, unable to hold on to the ball.
Ryan Deasing. .32-yard attempt out of the hole to Tevin Chapman. Looking good on the way and splits the uprights. And Deasing's 32-yard field goal puts Jackson State on the board with 6:12 to play till halftime. So Jackson State does wind up with points, and it's a 7-point game here in Houston. Well, Matt, thanks very much. So Oklahoma State trying to win the Big 12, but right here in Reliant Stadium in Houston, we're trying to figure out who's going to win the SWAC championship. Some other news around HBCU football. Grambling State as a new man. Roderick Fobbs comes over from McNeese State.
Roderick Fobbs, son of Lee Fobbs, so he's been entrenched in that Grambling community for some time. And there's only one left. Tennessee State. Matt Schick will give us a little update on what's going on with Big Blue, their battle versus Eastern Illinois.
And a couple of vacancies, head coaching wise.
That time of year, isn't it?
Let's get to it.
Anthony Jones, who was the longest tenured head coach in the SWAC, was relieved. And
Donald Hill-Ely of Morgan State also let go.
He was the longest tenured coach in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
12 years. So after the Jackson State field goal, Richardson tied up at the 35, brought down at the 37-yard line. The junior out of New Orleans. Jackson State needed points on that last possession. They come away with 3. You see the penalty yards. Wow. I didn't realize how bad the yardage was. Turnovers. Jackson State's fumbled twice, but they coughed it up.
You've got the feeling that Jackson State is fortunate to be down just 7 points. They'll take that. They have not played a good half of football yet. Southern University hasn't really capitalized on the opportunities that they've had in the form of turnovers that they've been given from JSU.
Tillery is the back, and he has the handoff. Going down at the 39-yard line for a gain of 2. Wesley Jackson. Also John McNabb on the stop. So Javanchi Jones as well, number 29, the SWAC Freshman of the Year, defensive end for Jackson State. Joseph hands it off again. Tillery for about 1 to the 40. Wilcher with the tackle, Todd Wilcher. They really say one of their very intelligent players on that defense.
So much respect being given to the interior linemen for Jackson State. When we talked to Southern, they said they've got some big bodies in the inside. Robert Smith, Armand Carter. So you tell every time that Southern tries to run the ball, they're always trying to attack the perimeter, thinking they won't have success running at the teeth of the Jackson State defense.
4 receivers on 3rd down and 7, and Joseph is going to take off. He's got a chance to run for the first down here and will be very close, wrapped up at the 47-yard line. Nice running tackle by Cedric Hogan to catch him from behind, and with the spot, it looks like he will have it.
He's going to be very close, and there was daylight there, but the separation closed quickly. See, Joseph doesn't want to run. He's looking downfield, but decides to take off, makes a good decision, becomes a foot race, and barely gets the first down.
I mean, by inches. First down. Southern at their own 47-yard line. Tillery running left, turns it upfield, midfield, 45 down to the 42-yard line of Jackson State. He's pulled down by Cameron Loeffler. 12-yard gain, another first down for the Jags.
And once again, another run at the perimeter of Jackson State. Southern University and offensive coordinator Chad Germany along with co-offensive coordinator Chennis Berry, accepting the fact that they can't run straight ahead of Jackson State, choosing to attack the perimeter run defense.
And last run for Tillery by far his best of the day. Prior to that carry, Jay, Tillery had 9 carries for 11 total yards. That last carry was for 12 yards on its own.
They found what they were looking for.
Joseph slings it to the near side, incomplete at the 22-yard line. Over in the area, Quake Cox covering Justin Morgan.
And Dre Joseph still just not quite sharp on this big stage. This is the Jackson State defense that gives up over 215 yards in the air. But a good look there. Chad Germany and Southern, they've not been able to pick them apart throwing the ball as it was their design game plan.
Chad Germany, Chennis Berry, the co-offensive coordinators for the Jags. Tillery lunges forward about the 38-yard line for 3 yards. Tackled by McNabb, John McNabb.
You know why they're continuing to run the ball sideline to sideline? When you've got a team that's got good big fellas in the middle, you keep running them sideline to sideline in hopes of tiring them, wearing them out. But give credit to Robert Smith and the big fellas on the inside of the Jackson State defense. They don't seem to be sucking wind too bad.
We slip under 3 minutes to go in this first half. A 7-point lead for Southern in this 2013 SWAC Football Championship game. Completion to Menard. It's immediately dropped.
He's going to be a yard short again. And once again, I know Coach Odom just saying, every time we cross the 40, we're always facing 4th and 1, 4th and 3. They're 1 of 2 on the day. And this is where not having the threat of a running game influences your decision.
Looks like they're going to use one of their timeouts here. The play clock will wind down. And you have to assume they're going to go for it here on 4th and 1, don't you, Jay?
You're so reliant, and so often if you go for it and you don't get it, you spark the defense, the opposing team's offense, like happened last time. Southern University went for it, didn't get it. The offense got excited, and next thing you know, they put 3 points on the board.
Well, you'd be looking at a 49-yard attempt, which is a little bit long. Pittman's longest this year has been 43 yards. Well, help us beat cancer. The V Foundation awards 100% of direct donations and net proceeds of events to fund cancer research. Go online, log on to jimmyv.org, or you can call the phone number 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to donate.
And so often, keep in mind, we talked about Dawson Odoms. What's his background? Defense. Defensive coordinators tend to play things a little bit tight to the chest. Well, it becomes field position battle. They're going to elect field position all the time. I would not be surprised to see them not go for it.
Now you see Pittman, number 18, who's the place kicker. He was kind of standing out on the field, warming up, but I think he was just deking them there. They're not going to attempt a 49-yard field goal, even though we are indoors and no wind or anything to worry about. They're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
Substitution, offense number 10.
Wow.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, at 12 men in the huddle. And that changes things. They go through all that charade, Jay, and then that happens. It's been that kind of day, really, for both teams.
Take a look there. They're getting ready to line a wildcat, and Drake Joseph is,
We've got too many men on the field. That's
I'm
12.
not supposed to be in the game.
So now they are going to punt. Paul Randall Soden drops it and somehow got it away. I don't know how Jackson State hasn't blocked one of these. And that's into the end zone for a touchback on a flag. They roughed him again.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense number 29. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Javancy Jones, the freshman of the year in the SWAC, runs into the punter, and for the 2nd time today, Southern will continue a drive with a roughing the punter.
And that's where, as a freshman, you have to know if he's a right-footed punter, attack the right. He gets too far on the inside, does not make contact with the football, 15-yard penalty. That could be costly.
So a first down for Southern at the 22-yard line at Jackson State. 2 timeouts for Southern and 1:51 left in the half.
Yeah, that was a big mistake there. You think now Southern sooner or later has to really make Jackson State pay for one of those penalties.
Quick snap. Now they lost the football. Joseph jumps on top of it, but a problem with the snap, which was a little low, but still manageable for Joseph, who could not. So they lose yardage on that.
What does that look, sir?
That's frustration right there. That's the picture of frustration. Dawson Motems, the head coach for Southern. A loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Play fake. Joseph to the near sideline and well out of reach. Doss. And just like that, it's 3rd and 15.
This is a very big 3rd down that they need to pick up, just because they've had control the first half. Missed opportunities for Southern, and if Jackson State can force Southern to try for a field goal, that's a small victory in the first half. I would attack. I'd attack Lee Doss. Whoever's guarding Lee Doss, I'm going to try and get him the football. He's your all-SWAC wide receiver, NFL talent. Give him a back shoulder throw. See if he can make a play for you.
That's Doss down there. Going in his direction. Off the fingertips. Let him just a little bit too much. But, Jay, they were on the same page with you. And a better pass. That's 6.
We've talked about just the quarterbacks not being accurate today. He's got his man beat one-on-one. Just a little bit too far. Better pass, and that would have been a huge play. Good sell of the route on the inside move. Breaks to the outside.
So here's Pittman. He's hit one from 41. His season long is 43. This is a 44-yard attempt. This would be a season high for him. And here indoors in Reliant Stadium, no problem. But as you say, Jackson State, for them, that's a win defensively to only give up 3 there.
And they have done nothing to help their cause in this first half, but yet they're down by 10, which is nothing to lose your temper and your game plan about. They just need a couple big plays, and they're right back in it.
Well, freshman Jameis Winston and the #1 Seminoles look to secure their spot in the national championship game with a victory over the #20 Blue Devils in the Dr. Pepper ACC championship game. Duke versus Florida State tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. And lost in that, it really is the tremendous year that Coach Cutcliffe and Duke are having at 10-2 with their first ever 10-win season. Granted, it would be one of the biggest upsets if they could pull this off tonight. But just to be in this position is really remarkable for Duke football.
Yeah, I don't think this will have, the game tonight will have any impact on what you remember when you think of Duke in 2013. But Coach Cutcliffe getting the job done. Anything's possible. I mean, anything's possible. I know they're a long shot, but a couple turnovers and interception here or there, and it could become a football game.
Short end over end kick. More from the 10. 25 to the 28-yard line. For Jackson State, 58 seconds to work with and 2 timeouts. They're down by 10. And think about what they're only down 10, as you've mentioned, Jay, even though they've lost 2 fumbles and roughed the punter twice to extend Southern drives, only giving up 6 points out of all that mess.
Still have a chance, and right now I think this first down play is going to dictate if they choose to try and put some points on the board before the half or not. They can pick up some positive yards and start a hurry-up offense, they'll do it, but if they get minimal success or returns, they'll take them to the locker room.
More to the near sideline. That's Singleton. Gets the feet down and steps out at the 36-yard line. Balance here on the coverage, a gain at 9.
Best throw of the day so far by Clayton Moore. Finally looked as if he recognized the coverage, threw in rhythm for the completion.
Moore dumps it off to the back. Gooden to the 48-yard line. They can use a timeout here if they so choose. They'll stop the clock to move the chains.
They pick up the first down, so that'll stop. Get the play called now. By the time the referee blows that whistle, you want to let no more than 4 seconds evolve.
And that's just about exactly what went off the clock. Again to Gooden. Has another first down. So just like that, boom, they're up at the 38-yard line of Southern. They stop the clock to move the chains again. Gain of 14.
Now you're in attack mode. You still have 2 timeouts, so they're in good position right now.
A flag at the snap. Just as you say that.
False start. 82 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
We hadn't had a team shoot themselves in the foot in a few minutes, Jay, so we were overdue for that.
They have been their own worst enemy. They were running an effective hurry-up offense, moving the ball downfield, maintaining time, outs, crossing into scoring position, and then self-inflicted wound, offsides.
The 1st and 15 from the 43
Timeout.
Now Southern.
Jackson State elected to take a timeout.
Instead of a runoff.
Oh, wow.
To prevent the 10-second runoff.
A timeout.
Okay.
This is the second charge timeout.
Because with only 25 seconds left with that penalty at that point, they're going to save themselves 10 seconds by using a timeout. Well, for the 23rd year, the best college football players in the nation will be honored at the Home Depot College Football Awards. Join the game day team next Thursday at 7 Eastern on ESPN. When they come to you from the Walt Disney World Resort for a night that is a celebration of the year in college football. Don't miss it. Thursday at 7 Eastern. So now 1 timeout for Jackson State. So important that they still do have 1 timeout under their belt, Jay. That way they can still work the middle of the field here.
And that's the key right there. That gives you the threat of making a completed pass without having to just attack the sidelines. You can attack the middle of the field. You can run the football. You can call a screen play in the middle of the field. So having that 1 timeout is huge for Jackson State.
Clayton Moore on this drive, 3 of 3 through the air, 35 yards. Moore a little trouble with the snap, but he has it now under pressure. He's going to throw it to the sideline. Does he get out of bounds at the 25-yard line? He does indeed. Pendleton. Boy, he just
great job with
got
the
that
catch.
off the turf.
Keeping it off the turf, strong hands, and then having the wherewithal to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
2 really good catches from Pendleton in this first half. Going deep across the field near the pylon. Call touchdown. Saying there was some pushing, but the touchdown catch for McKenzie. That's his first TD catch of the season, and it comes in a huge spot for the Tigers.
Yeah, I thought he got away with one when I saw the ball in the air. Watch the push right there. Give him a little push on by. Wasn't a big push, but it was enough of a push where easily could have been flagged.
Jonathan Mack there, number 32, was the cornerback. And McKenzie, I think, did get away with one. A point after. And how about this? Jackson State, 5 plays, 73 yards. And more on that drive, 5 for 5, was 78 yards through the air, and they make it a 3-point game.
I mean, they played absolutely poor Jackson State football, but they found a spark. A little push-off shove there. Touchdown grab and down by 3, but that was great execution by Clayton Moore of how you run the hurry-up offense.
McKenzie, just his 12th catch of the season. His first touchdown catch for the sophomore out of Covington, Georgia, and Moore with his 14th touchdown pass of the year. That's the Clayton Moore that I think Jackson State fans have gotten used to seeing. The one we saw on that hurry-up drive. That whole drive took, what, 50 seconds? Not even that.
Great time management. It all started with the first play. You could tell from the very first play of the hurry-up, he got the completion early, set a rhythm and a pace to the hurry-up offense, managed the clock very well, took a shot downfield, rewarded with a touchdown.
As well as that hurry-up went for Jackson State there, Jay, maybe we see them try to up-tempo things a little more in the second half.
Possibly. I mean, that's something you have to look at, but I think they still need to gain control of the line of scrimmage and run the football.
Scooped up at the 10. Break it free. Richardson. But time's going to run out. Well, he's going to have to break it for points. Made it all the way down to the 34-yard line of Jackson State for a 56-yard return, but time expires in the first half. Woo! Starting to kick it up a few notches though here, Jay.
It's setting it up for what's going to be a good second half.
We're at the intermission. 13-10. Southern leading Jackson State. Now let's go to Matt Schick and Kevin Carter in the studio for the college football halftime report. Guys.
All right, thanks, guys. Slow start. Great finish there to the first half. Southern with a 13-10 lead on Jackson State. We are at halftime. Welcome into halftime. Matt Schick along with Kevin today. It's the Southern Band, a human jukebox. Enjoying our halftime festivities. Southern with a 3-point lead at the half. Known as the sonic boom of the South, the Jackson State Band. You can see why and hear why. Trailing though 13-10 at the half. Second half right after the break of the SWAC.
You're watching Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
Welcome back to Reliant Stadium in Houston, where we have the roof closed on a very cold day in South Texas. And the 2013 SWAC Championship presented by McDonald's. 13-10 Southern leading Jackson State here at the intermission. Now let's take a look at today's Bring in the Flavor. That is today's Bring in the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. I'm glad to have you with us from Reliant Stadium. Mark Neely along with Jay Walker. Jay, it almost seemed like in that first half, whichever team was going to get out of their own way first would be better off.
Yeah, I mean, I think both coaches really are happy to have this game so close. Southern University, though, missed the most out of tremendous opportunities they had with the miscues from Jackson State. But we saw at the end of the first half, the team started to show some life, what they want to do. But somebody has to figure out a way to run the football. I think that's going to be the team that wins.
You mentioned the Jackson State miscues. They really missed some big opportunities. They could be up 7 or 10 points in this game.
I mean, right here, taking on two defenders, the quarterback, Clayton Moore, put the ball on the ground. Then you talk about the miscues on the punt team right here. Very fortunate for Southern University, but Jackson State, opportunity to block the punt. They missed that chance there. And then Clayton Moore makes the pass completion, ball fumble, put it down on the curve. But I think the key stat is, of all the miscues we're seeing that Jackson State made, Southern University only put 6 points on the scoreboard. Considering all that happened, that's a good job by the Jackson State defense of helping out the offense and special teams.
Jackson State to kick off to begin the second half. You know, the quarterback, such a big story in this. Clayton Moore at Jackson State, 10 of 21 in the first half, 146 yards, 1 TD. Joseph, 10 of 21 for Southern for 128 yards and a touchdown. So the numbers somewhat similar, but both seem to kind of find their rhythm, especially late in the first half. On the 6, Quinn bumped down at the 14.
You talk about those quarterback numbers. I mean, it's rarely you find a football contest where both quarterbacks are less than 50% passing on the day. And for Dre Joseph, he came into this football game completing passes at a 62% clip. Has not been the case today. And there's been no running game for Southern University with 15 rush attempts and only 36 yards on the ground. We know they want to throw the football, and you have to start to wonder, when do they abandon even attempting to run the ball and just leave it all on the right arm of Dre Joseph.
Artillery of Southern, 11 carries for just 24 yards in the first half. And they begin from the 15-yard line. Joseph keeps to the 20. Gain of 5 on first down for the Southern quarterbacks, down by Tom Wilcher.
And I'm still curious to see if Southern's going to elect to continue to run the football sideline to sideline. give your offensive line a chance to do some downhill sledding on the defensive line for Jackson State.
And Artillery is the back for Southern University. Joseph batted down at the 28-yard line, going in the direction of Menard, but Quay Cox reached around to break that up.
Trying to go through each of his progressions. Watch Dre Joseph start off going through progression 1, 2, then tries to come back to 1. Good defensive back is not going to allow you to have that much time to hit a wide open receiver.
Quay Cox, first team all conference this year.
He was a young man that was projected to be the defensive player of the year in the SWAC from his cornerback position.
Joseph on third down, finds Doss. First down, 40, 45, and near midfield, run out of bounds. 29-yard pickup.
You know what Lee Doss did really well here? Watch him come back to the football. When the ball's in the air, he comes and attacks the football and then makes his move. When you get that extra split second to square up the defender, you're able to put a move on him and pick up more yardage. Big time play by Lee Doss.
Yeah, Ryan ran right past number 19 Caleb Lester. First down, Southern at midfield. Tillery with a carry. One of his better runs for about 8 or 9 yards on first down.
Second half adjustment. They were running sideline to sideline. They decided to challenge the interior run defense of Jackson State. Rewarded with a nice gain by Leonard Tillery.
It was second down and 1. Joseph keeping this time and has the first down to the 38-yard line. Wrapped up by Travis Woods. Jackson State scored their lone touchdown in the first half inside the last minute of that first half. Here's Southern on the first possession of the second half, trying to march down the field. Going towards the end zone, and there was, well, maybe some incidental contact that their feet got tangled up at the 12, and an upset Randall Menard. Coverage by Sutton, number 12.
It would have been close had Menard been able to track that ball down, but this looks like incidental contact. They're just running. Feet get tangled. Goes down. It's a good no call by the officials.
So third down and long. Second down and long, that is. Second and 10. Showing blitz, does not up the middle, but dumps it off with a back. Tillery stood up at the 39-yard line, so he'll actually lose a yard, it looks like. Stopped there by Todd Wilcher, as well as the Jackson State defender.
Todd Wilcher, the fifth-year senior from Atlanta, Georgia, that anchor on the interior run defense from the linebacker position, plays that Mike backer. He's been a good one. The top tacklers on the squad.
And definitely one of their leaders on the defense.
That verbal leader that you need.
Right.
It's so good when your inside linebacker can be your verbal leader as well. Allowed to talk to people on the field.
Third and 10, Joseph sacked. Back at the 44-yard line. Cedric Hogan with the sack, his 5th of the year.
Yeah, they brought the blitz. They brought Griffin, the safety, from the outside, and Hogan coming up with a blitz as well, able to get to the quarterback from his defensive end position. 5th sack of the year for Hogan.
And that's the first sack of this game for either team. It's Brown back at his own 10 for Jackson State to receive this punt. And Paul Randall Sobitz. Punts have been an adventure. I don't think he came close to touching that, but it's down at the 5-yard line. So Jackson State's going to begin, we're going to say, at their own 6 when we return to Houston.
Come on now. You know this one.
A man. Big man person. It's a big painted man person.
No, think bold like Cheez-It Zing.
Welcome back to the SWAC Championship presented by McDonald's. Part of Jimmy V Week. Houston, Texas. Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN. We continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. We begin at their own 5 for the Tigers. Carry up to the 9. Here's Clayton Moore. You see that last drive of the first half was his best, no doubt.
And it's time for Clayton Moore to turn up. That's a little phrase the kids are saying nowadays. Clayton Moore needs to turn up and get things going. He got it going with a great drive at the end of the first half. Let's see if that carries over into the second half.
I like you keeping us up with the vernacular of the youngsters too, partner. Appreciate that.
I've got teenagers.
Moore throws far side. That's Pendleton upended at the 12-yard line. Tackled by Kevin King, the cornerback.
You know they want to try and get these wide receivers involved, but that's just a great open field tackle. That's how you draw it up. Wide receiver catches in the front of you, attack that thigh, make the tackle on Pendleton.
Jackson State, their first possession of the second half, looking at a 3rd and 5 from their own 12. Moore keeping, and that's bottled up. Tried to take it outside, but the defenders followed him and bring him down. Looks like a loss of a yard. Trey Tiller, number 99.
Tiller, the big fellow, the run stuffer, along with Anthony Balancier, who we called often in the first half, is making great plays around the football.
Well, so much for my thought that the Jackson State offense was going to maintain that momentum from the end of the first half. Marcy Williamson punting out of his own end zone. Virgil Williams back in midfield to receive this punt for Southern. Good punt from Williamson. Very good punt. All the way back to the 36-yard line goes Williams. Advances to the 45-yard line. 53-yard punt with an 8-yard return. Coverage of college basketball continues tonight here on ESPNU. First at 9, the Crimson Tide square off against the Bulls. And then at 11, the Aggies take on the Bulldogs. It's a college basketball doubleheader tonight on ESPNU.
Once again, Southern University defense doing a fantastic job. Great field position. Get the ball on the 45-yard line. You're thinking 3 first downs, points on the board. They need to figure out a way to start making Jackson State pay.
First carry of the game for Darius Coleman. And that's going to lose a yard.
And I think you have probably one more series of trying to run the football, then you abandon it. You blow it up and you say, the last chance I'm going to have with Drake Joseph being the quarterback of this Jaguar squad, put it in the senior's right arm, allow him to either win or lose you a SWAC championship.
SWAC freshman of the year, Javancy Jones, with that tackle on Coleman. So a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Pass is caught by Doss at the 48. He's pulled out of bounds there.
I'm really impressed with Lee Doss. Nice frame, 6'2", 180 pounds. He's out of New Orleans, Louisiana, but does a good job of getting in and out of his breaks. So what you look for in a big-time wide receiver, the ability to separate. When it looks like the defender's in good position, you see Doss has that knack of getting 3 or 4 yard separation, easy target to throw to.
Doss first team all-conference again this year. 2nd straight year for that. Joseph with time across the middle and has his man wide open. Quinn spun down at the 18-yard line by Travis Woods, who had a touchdown catch in the first half of 34 yards. That's a 33-yard gain.
Well, if you're going to blitz a quarterback, you've got to get to him. So they're going to bring pressure here. Just watch the receiver come up the slant, up the slot where the blitzing safety comes from. Gets there in the middle, finds a soft spot. That's a foot race there. That's the danger of blitzing. One-on-one coverage. And if you don't get to the quarterback in time, he can hurt you.
A big gainer again for Quinn. First down. That one only advances to about the 21 that time. Wilcher sniffing that out. Justin Morgan, the wide receiver, with his first catch of the game.
Safe play call there, but continue to attack. Go downfield. You know, trying to do the dink and dunk sideline to sideline is not working. Jackson State should have earned your respect that way. Time to continue to attack the seams of the secondary for Jackson State.
They lost 3, 2nd and 13. So they're outside the 20, but they were inside the 20 a moment ago, Jay, which makes it the first red zone possession for either team in this game. Joseph, low, incomplete at the 3 for Doss.
I would have preferred that call on the first down rather than second down. Now you've got 3rd and 13. But this is where you need to be a game manager. If you're Dre Joseph, you realize, protect the football. You've got 3 points, and 3 points would be big right now in this situation to continue to grow that lead. Don't get careless with the football. Don't take an unnecessary risk.
You're looking at about a 38-yard field goal if they don't advance it from here. 3rd down and 13. Joseph across the middle to the back. Leaping inside the 5 goes Darius Coleman, and he lost it. Well, maybe he shouldn't have left his feet. See a loose helmet, but not the football. And Jackson State recovers inside their own 5. Todd Wilcher with the recovery.
Well, you'll see Coleman. He's got plenty of yardage to pick up the first down, but trying to take on a wall of Jackson State defenders. Ball comes out. Big play by the Tiger defense.
AT&T is making holiday shopping easier. Now for a limited time, you can get...
Call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. That's Anna Spivey, Miss Southern University. Well, her team had a chance to be first and goal inside the 5. But Darius Coleman had it punched out by Travis Wood, so Jackson State takes over on their own 2-yard line. Moore from out of his own end zone. Jockey in and intercepted at the 40. Omar Cook with his team leading 3rd interception of the season.
And he's going to get the interception, but I want you to take a good look at the defensive back right here. Watch him screen the receiver away from the football once he realizes that he's going to have an opportunity. Find him, screen him, screen him. The defensive back's able to come over, intercept that pass cleanly for the big play.
Well, Clayton Moore throws into a crowd, and the teams turn it over on back-to-back plays, so Southern gets it back. But now at the 40-yard line of Jackson State.
You almost want to ask yourself, who wants to be the 2013 SWAC champion? The game is out there for the taking, and each team seems to just hand it over to the other team like a hot potato. Here, you take it.
Joseph steps, looked like he stepped out first before he made that spin move, and did so at the 41-yard line. Pursued by Ryan McCree. Loses a yard. Stepped out with that right foot.
A good job by the officials of marking that.
Right there, out. Southern in this SWAC championship game for the first time since 2004. They haven't won the SWAC championships since the year before that in 03. Jackson State last won in 07, but lost this SWAC championship game a year ago when it was played in Birmingham, losing in overtime to Arkansas Pine Bluff. Tillery 35, a gain of 6. It'll be second, make that 3rd and 5. So it's been a while. Southern looking for their first SWAC title in 10 years. Jackson State won it in 07, had a chance last year and lost in overtime.
And what's been missing during that time is the trials and tribulations of Southern football. Pete Richardson gone, the Stump Mitchell era, and now the Dawson Odom's era. I think the Jaguar fans are saying we're back where we belong, which is a perennial winner in the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Well, the Jackson State player down, and while we have a moment, Jay, why don't you give me 5 as far as the power rankings?
Well, this is going to be the final one. This is it. I think Tennessee State proved that they were the cream of the crop. Although they were beaten by Bethune-Cookman early in the year, that impressive victory they had last week in the postseason, 31-0 over Butler, saw them up close and in personal. They're a real deal. Brian Jenkins, Bethune-Cookman, fantastic job down there. They just got a tough matchup against Coastal Carolina in the first round of the FCS playoffs and lost there. South Carolina State gave Furman all they could handle. It's a good one. And the winner of this game is going to be number 4. Jackson State Southern. Whoever wins it will get in. How about number 5? Jay Hobson had the Alcorn State Braves in contention, 9-3. I think that's one of the best coaching jobs we've seen in some time.
Of course, Alcorn State beat both these teams this year. Eastern Illinois leading Tennessee State 37-0 at the half. Good to see Cameron Loeffler, though, up and off for Jackson State. He's a big part of defense for the Tigers. 3rd down and 5 for Southern. 3-point lead for the Jaguars. Over 5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter from Reliant Stadium in Houston. Joseph timing down the sideline. Got him!
Pretty throw.
Going to mark him down at the half-yard line. Quinn really has been the star with his receiving yards for Southern. He fell on top of Antonio Sutton, looked like, and tumbled into the end zone, then lost the football. But they mark him down inside the 1.
Yeah, pretty throw. Just run down there, and it's on the M-O-N-E-Y. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, I think that is a touchdown.
That is a touchdown. His knee never touched. He was on top of Sutton. Ball's stretched out over the goal line. That's a touchdown. I think they're going to take a look at this.
Yeah, Southern was hurrying to the line of scrimmage, but they could be the beneficiaries here.
The ruling on the field is a completed pass. The previous play is under further review.
And some of the crowd may be thinking that it's under review to see if it's a completion or not. That's not the question. The issue is the spot.
He has
the football, no doubt.
Clearly.
And then he lands on top of the defender, and that's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown. All day, every day. Nice throw by Dre Joseph. Those are the type of throws that you like to see from him. In rhythm, good timing. That's the throws old school quarterback. You say, hey, you just run down the field, look about 25 yards up in the air, and the ball's going to be in your right pocket.
Well, that's 3 receptions of 33-plus yards today for Willie Quinn. And he's had 2 of 34 yards, 1 of 33. And this could turn from a 34-yard completion to a 35-yard touchdown.
That extra yard so important, isn't it? And Willie Quinn able to separate 5'5", 145 pounds, sophomore out of Miami, Florida. But good job using his size, separating early at the line of scrimmage, elusive.
So we'll see if there's enough on video, which we seem to think that there is enough to turn this into a touchdown.
It has to be 6. If that's not 6 points, Mark, I don't know what a touchdown is.
The receiver possessed the ball, and the ball broke the plane of the goal line. Touchdown.
35-yard touchdown catch for Quinn, who had a 34-yard touchdown catch in the 2nd quarter.
Jaguar Nation showing some redemption in their rematch versus Southern. This time with a conference championship on the line.
And they lost 19-14 to Jackson State in late September. And with this extra point, can take a 10-point lead. Pittman Gets it away just in time and through, and it's 20-10 Jaguars. What a day, Jay, for Willie Quinn.
Monday Night Football.
Runner-up. But I think the Heisman Trophy winner is going to rhyme with famous. Jameis. Be the third Florida State quarterback to win a Heisman. You know the other two?
Chris Winkie
and
Charlie Ward.
Charlie.
Kickoff from Pittman. Short taken at the 17-yard line. Midfield position up to the 40. There's Sims. Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research. You can donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research going online to jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V. And again, 100% of all direct cash donations are awarded to cancer research. Well, Jackson State called this year unfinished business because they lost in overtime of the SWAC title game last year in Birmingham to Arkansas Pine Bluff. They've got a lot of unfinished business here. This could go a ways in helping some of that business, but incomplete at the 20-yard line as they look to go long to Tobias Singleton on the first play. Woodland covering.
And one thing Jackson State has not been able to do is gain control of the line of scrimmage so they can run the football. And this is an offense that averages 200 yards per game on the ground.
Which is the biggest surprise of the game for me, Jay.
Haven't been able to do it versus a three-man defensive line. You should be able to run the football effectively, but they have not done it on a consistent basis.
Especially with all the all-conference performers on that offensive line for Jackson State. Completed pass. Perkins out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
And I think when we were having our meetings, we thought the game might almost become boring because Jackson State was just going to run the ball over and over again. But give credit to the Southern University defense. There has to be a reason why JSU has abandoned the running game.
3rd down and 3. Gooden battling with forward progress. He should have the first down just across midfield. And the helmet taken off as well. A 6-foot 215-pounder needed every bit of effort there to pick up that first down.
That was a senior run right there. You know, that was one where he was short. They sniffed it out well. Watch him just lower the shoulder and keep the legs churning, spinning. He knew exactly how many yards he needed to pick up, and he got it right on the button.
Helmet came off, so he has to come out for a play. So Akeem Sims is now the running back. Moore looking around and finally dumps it off to the back. Sims. He spins forward all the way to the 42-yard line. Deontay McDuffie to push him out. That turned into a pretty good gainer. What was the 3rd or 4th option there for Clayton Moore? Pick up a 9.
Good old-fashioned check down. Quarterback's best friend. 4-yard pass, pick up 9 yards. Pretty good return on investment, I would say.
Sims with a first down run up near the 30.
And I like this. Now they're going with that up-tempo style. You see Clayton Moore hurrying his Tiger offense up to the line of scrimmage there. They finally found a crease to run the football. Now they've got the Jaguar defense on their heels, and they're trying to force the tempo.
First down at the Southern 31. Moore hands it off to Sims, who fights for a couple of yards. Gabe Eccles, sophomore out of Decatur, Georgia, with the tackle.
Good look at Robert Smith there. Robert, that's Gabe Eccles, the big fella on the inside. When you're going to play a 3-4 defensive line, you have to have a good nose tackle. Eccles is a good one.
Moore going towards the end zone. Pendleton incomplete. Well, they had 2 receivers out there, Perkins and Pendleton. And 2 defenders as well, including DeAndre Woodland. I'm not sure who this pass was intended for.
Not a good sign when you've got two receivers in the same spot. Perkins and Pendleton, as you mentioned, in the same location, and neither one comes away with the football after both were by their defender.
Player down. Let's check in now with the studio. Here's Matt Schick.
All right, thanks, guys. SEC championship game in Atlanta, Auburn and Missouri. After a Missouri field goal for the Tigers, here come the other Tigers. Nick Marshall. No.
We'll see the update on the Tigers. And Tigers, Matt, that's DeAndre Woodland, number 5, who does go off under his own power, but hobbling after that pass into the end zone. Well, 3rd down and 7 for Jackson State. Line to gain is the 21 to extend the drive. To the sideline. And a 1st down and more. Pendleton. Touchdown, Jackson State. A 28-yard touchdown for their leading receiver this season, Zach Pendleton. His 10th touchdown of the year.
I mean, look at the soft coverage on the outside. This is just too much cushion from the receiver. They're just going to run all curl routes, turn around, stop, get to the marker. That's too much give. 2 guys get there, easy throw, easy catch, and a missed tackle, and Pendleton does the rest.
Kevin King had a chance to tackle him not long after the catch, but could not. Ryan Deesing with the point after, knocks it through, and Jackson State responding to make this a 3-point game once again. Well, the last team standing face-off Sunday at Wake Met Jackson State, and their quarterback Clayton Moore. Pendleton with a touchdown catch, needed just over 2 minutes on that 8-play scoring drive.
And they needed that to get the sonic boom involved in the football game. Offense has been flat at times, but good job by the playmaker making a big play when you really needed him. That was an impressive drive there. What about the atmosphere here at Reliant Stadium? I mean,
and what a great place to have this event. Yeah. And the fact that it's 37 degrees outside, which is very unusual for Houston this early in December. It's nice to have that retractable roof closed here today.
Closed roof and festive environment. And now the Southern fans are all sitting down, and the Jackson State fans are waving their pom-pom. It's SWAC down here in Houston.
Richardson run back. Time ran out. That time stuck about the 5. Let's check in with the studio once again. Here's Matt Schick.
Thanks, guys. The scoring continues with the Tigers and Tigers. Missouri.
And thank you, the kid from Springfield, Missouri, DGB.
I had the opportunity to cover him in high school. He's really starting to emerge into what his potential was coming out of high school. The #1 wide receiver recruit in the nation 2 seasons ago. He's a big target with big-time talent.
We'll put you on the spot right here, Jay. If Ohio State wins, do either of those Tigers have a chance to get into the championship game if Florida State does?
No. They may not like it, but I think that's just the way it is.
Tillery.
Fumble.
Lost it. Jackson State recovers and takes it in. Antonio Sutton. And for the first time today, the Tigers have the lead in the SWAC championship.
Wow. Great job by John McNabb, the outside linebacker for Jackson State. You'll see him coming up. Gets outside contained and just yanks for the football. Poor ball security by the freshman Tillery. And Antonio Sutton, Johnny on the spot to pick it up for the score.
2 touchdowns for Jackson State in a span of 13 seconds to give them their first lead of the game. Point after for Ryan Deesing. 2:36 left in the third quarter. 24-20 JSU.
And they've got it going in here. The band is going. If this were a basketball game in my Dickie V voice, you know what I'd be saying? You better call a timeout, baby. JSU starting to take over the building. You saw it coming. After they scored the big touchdown during the commercial break, during the break to studio, they did not stop. And the team fed off of that energy, caused a turnover, and now, holy cow, Jackson State, how did they get the lead in this football game? They haven't even been here most of the first of the football game.
Crazy turn of events here just in 13 seconds. Scoring twice to lead. R.C. Williamson to kick off for JSU. Now we have to see how Southern University, how they're going to respond to this for being down for the first time in this game.
For the first time in this football game, the stress goes over to Southern. How are they going to handle it? They've got to come up with some points now. We'll see. Jackson State weathered the storm. Now they're putting pressure on the Southern University team.
Quinn and Richardson back deep. And from the 5 is Richardson. He stopped at the 15. Well, a spot in the Rose Bowl is on the line in the Pac-12 championship game. As Tyler Gaffney leads numbers at 7:45 on ESPN. You know what a mess?
Aggressive team, and they've learned how to protect the football. Does Southern still need a timeout, or has the building cooled down? I don't think so.
Well, they come out with 4 wide receivers, so they may be about ready. And they do hand it off to Coleman. Gain of 3 up near the 18-yard line. And tackled by Carter. It's Armand Carter, redshirt senior from Jackson.
In this game, with Southern having the ball back in Jackson State territory, right in front of the Jackson State band and student section, this is turned into playoff atmosphere right now. This is what you get in the postseason, where every series of downs is magnified.
2013 SWAC Championship from Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas. Joseph low, incomplete at the 26-yard line, going across the middle to Mike Jones. They have not used the speed of Mike Jones as much as I anticipated they would in this game.
We saw him early in the first half, and he showed the ability to get by his defender,
which opened it up for one of his fellow wide receivers
in Quinn. Yeah, so I think you go back to Doss and have him stretch the defense.
3rd down and 8. Jags at their own 18. Joseph to the far side, goes to Jones, but he's out of bounds. Incomplete. 4th down. Catch would have been right near the marker, but incomplete.
If you're going to throw that long out route across the field, the timing has to be there. Jones is a speed guy. By the time he gets there, he's already out of bounds. That's something where Jones has to slow down his speed once he gets close to the sideline to try and at least stay in bounds.
Jackson State looking for great field position here. It's Soden's punt. The roll has gone well on these punts for Soden. We're going to down it at the 35-yard line. A 47-yard punt. Let's check in again with Matt.
Yeah, guys, we're a few minutes away, 15 minutes away to be exact, from Joe Harris leading the Cavaliers with 11 points a game.
And thank you very much. Here in Houston, 1:45 left third quarter in the SWAC championship game. Southern has led almost the entire way in this game, but Jackson State has recently taken the lead. They have the ball back. Their own 35-yard line. Moore keeping. For about 3. Clayton Moore, who led Jackson State to the SWAC championship game last year, but as you mentioned at the top, he was not the starting quarterback for the season opener this year. That was redshirt freshman Lamoniez Ivy, who broke his leg in that game against Tulane. And then back came Moore. There's a completed pass to the 48. Fosselman with the reception.
A good throw here by Clayton Moore, but great job getting 1 foot down by Fosselman for the catch. And we talked about Moore not being the starter. That shows his character. I mean, getting beat out as a quarterback is very tough. And mentally, it tests your psyche. Given the opportunity to come back as a starting quarterback, he didn't miss a beat. I think he deserves a lot of credit for getting his team back to the championship game.
We go right back to Fosselman, who as soon as he caught that and turned, had Balancier in his face and some other white shirts. 2nd down and 2.
So Southern started playing soft off coverage. You see the defenders giving 5 or 6 yards to the wide receivers. Now, when that happens, you just take advantage of the underneath throws.
Moore had a chance there. There was some coverage, some help over the top. Going after Fosselman again about the 15. Fosselman says, hey, I'm a little worn out. I need to come out now.
And that's one where you don't mind that call. They tried to get the double move, and you really like it because it was 2nd and 2. Take a chance on 2nd and 2. Now you've got 3rd and 2. You assume you can run the football to pick up the 1st down and get a fresh set of downs.
20 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Tigers 6 of 13 on 3rd down today. And Moore trying to do it himself, but is stopped short. He didn't gain much, if anything, before Balancier stood him up.
They're having trouble because they're trying to have pulling guards with a defensive line that's slanting, running a lot of stunts. That's why they weren't able to pick up the 1st down.
Well, do they want to go for it on 4th and 2? They'll have some time to think about it because we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter. The 2013 SWAC Football Championship from Reliant Stadium in Houston. The title's on the line. We go to the 4th quarter in a tight one here at H-Town.
The Heisman Trophy presentation, December 14th at 8 on ESPN.
A nice crowd indoors here at Reliant Stadium in Houston for the SWAC Championship. We go to the 4th quarter, 24-20, Jackson State leading Southern. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. Mark Neely along with former Howard and NFL quarterback Jay Walker. This is what we wanted. You've got a conference title on the line. We're going to the 4th quarter. It's a tight game and a decision here to begin the 4th quarter. Do they go for it on 4th down, Jackson State?
4th and 2. You really got to ask yourself, do you want to do it? You have a great chance of taking control of this football game if you do. But the good thing going for Coach Comagese and his staff, they lead the nation in 4th down conversions. You've got to think they've got to go for it, put it on the line.
And they have momentum going their way. It took just 13 seconds for them to take the first lead in this game.
Oh, they absolutely seized momentum there. It all started with a nice throw and run after catch by Pendleton, their big play receiver. And then the defense got opportunistic. Freshman running back Tillery did not secure the football. Antonio Sutton there to take it in for the score. In the blink of an eye, Jackson State went from the hunter to the hunted when they gained the lead.
And they're going to go for it on 4th down and 2. The I formation with Moore under center. They did get a player to jump for Southern, but didn't snap the ball. Play clock's down to 5. And it looks like Jackson State's going to use a timeout. That's what they do. Or let it run down. They didn't use the timeout. They did get the timeout. The flag came out. Well, coming up tonight, college basketball here on ESPNU. Alabama against South Florida at 9 Eastern time. And then at 11 Eastern, the Aggies and 19th ranked Gonzaga. That's at 11 Eastern. College basketball coming up later tonight here on ESPNU.
Now, we set it all up. #1 in the nation in 4th down conversions, 4th and 2. But it all goes back to what I said earlier. When you've got a defensive coach that's your head coach, you tend to play things a little bit closer to the vest than the normal football unit. That's not a bad thing because you can tell the success that Coach Comagese has had every place he's been, one of the best coaches in the country.
Well, there seems to be some confusion whether they got the timeout or the penalty was called here. So whether it's 4th and 2 or 4th and 7. Now they've kept the ball spotted at the 40, indicating that it's 4th and 2. And that Jackson State did get the timeout, but now he's going to pick up the football and they're going to re-spot it back at the 45. So Jackson State does have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, but it cost them 5 yards and they're going to punt. And from a Jackson State perspective, that's the way they won things. They'd rather have that timeout than the 5 yards. Punt away from Williamson, and it's going to bounce inside the 5, and they're going to down that at the 1-yard line.
So that's what Coach Comedy said, Jay. That's why you're in the booth. And I'm down there on the field, and I've got more victories than you could ever dream of.
Says, let us defensive guys handle that. That's a 44-yard punt.
And that's what any head coach wants. If you can force a team to have to go 99 yards to score a touchdown on you, you've got a 4-point lead. That's that battle of field position that you have to have the right football IQ to realize when it's time to roll the dice and when it's time to not.
And Coach Kamaji.
What a job he's done at Jackson State. I mean, this was one of the most storied programs in the SWAC. And they lost their roar for a little while, but he came in there, got them back in the winning ways, and consecutive championship game appearances. I don't know if he gets enough credit for the job he's done.
Well, for the Southern offense, this is the 4th possession. They've started inside their own 10, and this one begins at the 1. And a run for Coleman to get a little bit of breathing room of a yard or 2.
And do you get the feeling that Southern's in the danger zone right now?
They are.
That doesn't run the football well. Obvious run situations, and a Jackson State defense that's been opportunistic today. What are you going to do if you're Southern?
Counting it straight ahead. Coleman to the 3, held up there by John McNabb.
And you know what also is scary for Southern? They don't punt the ball extremely well either. That's been very shaky for them.
Jackson State really should have blocked 2 punts already in this game. Instead roughed the punter a couple of times to extend drives. So 3rd and 8. With 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Joseph from his own end zone. Now will take off. And will have the first down across the 15 to the 17-yard line. 13-yard run, a big run for Joseph. As you mentioned, a guy who doesn't take off a lot.
No, they just wanted to move the pocket to buy some time, but makes a great decision. 1 missed tackle, 2, 3 missed tackles by Jackson State, allowing Southern quarterback Drake Joseph to pick up the first down. Big play. That's a game changer right there. That's a big time play by a quarterback playing in his last football game on the college level.
Hand off Coleman. He'll gain 6 to the 21-yard line before he's stopped by free safety Travis Woods. Seeing more Coleman, even though not long after his first carry of the game, he had a long run and then coughed it up inside the 5-yard line. They put him right back out there. Ramon Carter, redshirt senior defensive tackle, slow getting up. Well, for the 23rd year, the best college football players in the nation will be honored at the Home Depot College Football Awards. Join the game day team next Thursday at 7 Eastern on ESPN. And they come to you from Walt Disney World Resort for a night that celebrates the year in college football. Do not miss it, 7 Eastern on Thursday. Carter off on his own. 2nd down and 4 for the Jaguars. Send Quinn in motion. He's been their big target in the passing game. And they go to Doss, who's been their primary target on the season. He's up to the 35 with a first down, or being hit out by Travis Woods.
They just ran a nice clear out route for Doss. He's got the 2nd level throw. You see Quinn underneath. Doss Runs a simple out route, gets leverage on the safety, makes the catch, but nice throw by Dre Joseph as well, threading the needle.
Kind of quietly, Doss has 7 catches for 105 yards.
Quiet is the exact terminology. I think Quinn's taking his spotlight tonight.
Coleman up to the 38. Gain of 3. We're glad to have you with us from the SWAC Football Championship presented by McDonald's from Reliant Stadium in Houston, where the roof is closed here on a cold day in South Texas. Southern and Jackson State for the conference title. Mark Neely, Jay Walker. Coming up after our game, it is college basketball. Virginia taking on Wisconsin Green Bay. We've got a lot of football to play here in the 4th quarter from Houston and a conference title to decide. Joseph, a strike to Quinn, who's up to midfield, first down. Well, this is a drive that began at their own 1, Jay.
And it was kept alive by the great run by Dre Joseph with 3 missed tackles by the Jackson State defense. And now, like any good offensive unit, they're going to make them pay, moving the ball down the field. Really impressed with the way Willie Quinn's been able to get open as well. He's a matchup problem for this Jackson State secondary.
First down, Southern at midfield. Coleman wanting to carry, but he's tackled for a loss. Back at the Southern 47-yard line. That's the freshman, Javancy Jones.
They're just coming from the in position on a stunt. What a fantastic job of changing directions in the middle of the defensive line. Javancy Jones is going to be a good one. The rest of the SWAC is in trouble for years to come. He's just a freshman.
Yeah, he's the SWAC freshman of the year and first team all conference this year as a freshman. And lost 3, 2nd and 13. Joseph going to take off. It's to the 45-yard line. Maybe about 5 yards from the first down after an 8-yard run for Joseph. Tackled by Jones and Hogan.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium AA batteries last up to 9 times longer versus Energizer Max, which means up to 9 times less waste. Energizer Ultimate Lithium. That's positive energy.
What's the secret to becoming a great hitter? Repetition training.
In short on simple hitch routes and allow them to make the defender miss.
This is the 9th play of the drive. They began at their own 1, and on 3rd down they convert at the 37. Nice catch by Menard, first down.
And that's what you say as a quarterback. That's there all day, every day. I mean, this is just when you're getting the soft coverage, take advantage of the cushion, find your best matchup in your pre-snap read, and make a little bit better throw so he can size up the defender, and you would gain even more yardage.
The drive continues for Southern University. First down at the 37 of the Tigers. Joseph with a lot of time goes underneath. Coleman back to the 32. Held up there by Jones and Wilcher. It's a gain of 5.
And with that last look in the passing game, they forced Jackson State to come out of the soft coverage, and now you'll see the defensive backs from Jackson State closing the gap. So you're getting a cover 2 look. Anytime you see that cover 2 look with 2 safeties up high and defensive backs up one-on-one in coverage, the middle of the field is the weak spot.
Quinn is in the slot here on the left side, and at the bottom of the screen he looks to the other direction, and it's out of reach of Doss at the 25. We'll bring up another 3rd down. Lee Doss, SWAC first teamer this year. 2nd straight year for Doss as a first teamer. Joseph has extended this drive with his legs a couple of times.
So they've got the cover 2, so this is where you want to get bodies to attack the center of the field. That's the weakness of the defense right now.
13th play of the drive, 3rd and 5, and another first down. Menard again for 8 yards to move the chains. Just methodical.
And that's not supposed to happen. When you've got 5 defenders underneath coverage, you pass off the receivers when they come in, but lack of communication between the cornerback and the linebacker allowed Dre Joseph a window to thread the ball.
Southern now 3 of 3 on 3rd down on this drive.
I would think it's time for Jackson State to blitz and bring pressure.
Joseph just too wide, well out of bounds. That's the guy who's been his primary target around the end zone today, though, Willie Quinn. Stopping the clock with 8:02 to go. Hey, let's check up with another update from the studio and Matt Schick.
Yeah, guys, while the SWAC championship rolls on, Virginia and Green Bay are set to tip off. Supposed to tip off here on ESPNU, but because of football, it will be.
Thank you. 8:02 left in this 4th quarter from Reliant Stadium in Houston. SWAC championship game presented by McDonald's. 24-20 Jackson State. Southern down 4 but driving, and on 2nd and 10 he's sacked. Back at the 33-yard line. Tedrick Terrell, a sophomore from Jackson there.
When you've got a quarterback that's picking you apart, you start to bring pressure, and you see they brought the inside linebacker, Todd Wilcher, caught the attention of Drake Joseph. He saw the blitz. That allowed the defensive end, Tedrick Terrell, to come in for his 7th sack on the season.
Correct. 2nd team all-conference Terrell this year. 3rd and long this time. 3rd and 18. Joseph's pass across the middle is caught shy of the 1st down, but the gain is 16. Will bring up about a 4th and 3 with forward progress. And the receiver Quinn is slow to get up after a tackle from John McNabb. And there's Quinn getting up, or at least leading up.
Joseph recognizes it, and Quinn does a good job of holding on to the football. That's one of those times when you get 3 bodies around a little small receiver. Mass usually wins out, and unfortunately for Willie Quinn, he's on the small side of that collision.
All right, here's your decision. 33-yard attempt, or do you go for it on 4th and 2?
I kick it.
And make it a 1-point game if you can, but it looks like they're going to go for it.
Wow. I'd kick it. You've got 7 minutes to go. You kick a field goal. Now you just need another field goal to get you the lead.
Big play, 4th down. And Joseph to throw. Incomplete. And Jackson. Oh, there's a really late flag that comes in. Doss was the receiver. Cox on the coverage. And a very, very late flag flew in the vicinity.
And you know what happened? He knew what was coming so well, he was able to cover it. The defensive back jumped the route, knew where they were going, and the ball was thrown behind on the inside. And I think they might have flagged him for it.
Huge call here in this SWAC championship.
Pass interference, defense, number 30. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. An automatic 1st down.
I mean, they know they're going inside. See, the linebacker knows it all. The ball was on his floor, on the foot. Did he get there a little bit early? That's John McNabb. He did a great job of looking up the receiver.
Big play, big call. Instead of turning it over on downs, Southern keeps the drive going, and they have a 1st down at the 14 of Jackson State. Give to Coleman. To the 13 for a couple of yards. You're still a little surprised they didn't kick the field goal, aren't you?
I think you kick it. I mean, they dodged the bullet because they got the ball back with the penalty, but you have an opportunity to make it a 1-point game with 6 minutes to go, and then a field goal can win it for you. Now, if they've not been able to convert, next time you get it, you have to score a touchdown again, putting a lot of stress on your offense.
Doss is the receiver on the slot on the right side. They got Jones here on the bottom, but this is the quarterback taking off, and he's near the goal line. He's of the goal line is Dre Joseph. Well, how about this for a guy playing his last collegiate football game, not known as a runner? He's had some big runs on this drive.
He does a good one here, but look at the block by Lee Doss, number 2, getting in the way, sacrificing his body for his quarterback, and Dre Joseph oh so close. But that's a great block when the linebacker takes himself out of the play. And Joseph almost broke the plane with the football.
First and goal. Southern at the Jackson State 1. This must be about the spot, I assume. They moved it back just a little bit.
Towards the end of the run, the spin move. Ooh, he was fortunate to hold on to that ball.
That was number 8, Travis Woods, who came flying in there. Here's the snap. Ball came loose late. And they're saying he's down.
And that ball was never secure. I want to see the replay of that. We could see the ball sticking out from up here. And one thing you notice about teams that are always in the shotgun, whenever the quarterback has to get underneath the center, it never looks clean.
Right back to the line on second down and goal.
He has to secure the football first.
Hands it off. Coleman tumbles forward. He got in, touchdown. On the 20th play of a drive that began at their own 1-yard line, Southern reclaims the lead with under 5 minutes to play.
Only needed a yard, and initial tackle was there, but great job extending by Darius Coleman the ball across the plane before his knee was down.
Yeah, he put that left hand down. That helped him get the ball across the plane. Point after for Greg Pittman, which, even if it's successful, is going to keep Jackson State in field goal range of tying this game. Out of the hold of Doss. Pittman makes it 27-24 with 4:57 to go in the SWAC championship game. 20-play drive, 99 yards, a gutty one for Southern. They're sniffing the title, but JSU to get the ball when we return.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium AA batteries last up to 9 times longer versus Energizer Max, which means up to 9 times less waste. Energizer Ultimate Lithium. That's positive energy.
What's the secret to becoming a great hitter? Repetition training with the right tools to build speed, power, and timing. Skills, the leader in sports training, introduces its 10th anniversary Hit-Away Solo Batting Trainer.
I used this product from when I was 10 years old all the way up into minor league baseball.
Over 2 million young players have relied on the Hit-Away to perfect their mechanics and maximize their batting. It's the #1 selling baseball trainer of all time. Attach instantly to a pole or tree. Get up to 500 hits an hour. It adjusts for all pitches. High, low, inside, outside. Your entire strike zone.
I could sit in my backyard. I didn't have to go to cage. I didn't have to find a field. It allowed me to get my swings in that I needed.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
4:57 left in the fourth quarter in the 2013 SWAC championship game from Reliant Stadium in Houston. Southern just went on a 20-play drive that ate up 99 yards. A drive that was certainly helped out by a pass interference call on 4th down. And it's the Jaguars with a 3-point lead. Southern has now won the SWAC title since 2003. Jackson hasn't won one since 07. Or to the 24-yard line. So Clayton Moore and Jackson State will begin from there when we return to Houston.
Today, we have tasted victory. And it is not sweet. Victory is bold.
Man, thanks. So the Pokes won't win the Big 12, but we do have a conference championship to decide here from Reliant Stadium in Houston. Jackson State trailing by 3, 4:52 to go. The Tigers have the ball. 3 timeouts. Plenty of time to begin this drive at their own 25-yard line. Clayton Moore slings it to Singleton. No gain.
And go hurry up offense just in case your drive stops, so you give your offense at least 2 opportunities to get the points needed. You know, the success they had at the end of the first half running the hurry up offense, I would go right back to those play calls and the play selection. Try and hurry up and jumpstart Clayton Moore.
Moore's looking downfield and has his receiver drop the football at the 38-yard line. Perkins, the pass was a little bit high, Jay, but it's a big time part of the game. It's got to be caught.
Yep. Perkins has made an impact in this game in special teams, but when you're that wide open, slow down, catch the ball first.
Third down and 9. And that's off the hands of Singleton. Broken up by Kevin King, junior from Jacksonville, Florida. Well, they're going to have to punt it, but Jackson State has all 3 other timeouts remaining. 4:14 to go. This is not a time to panic, Jay, if you're the Tigers.
Not a time to panic, but you realize you're very reliant on your defense going out there and forcing 3 plays and out. They do have their timeouts, but I'm sure offensive coordinator Derek McCall from Jackson State has to be somewhat disappointed in his offense's 3-and-out series.
Williams hits punt, a pretty good one, angling back to the 24. Williams down the sideline, 40, 45, and out of bounds at the 47. So great starting field position for Southern at their own 47 when we return.
Monday night.
The 2013 SWAC Football Championship is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Houston, Texas on a chilly December day. Roof closed at Reliant Stadium. Akeem Sims and Jackson State frustrated right now. They need their defense to make some stops. Clayton Moore, their quarterback. They are down 27-24 with 4:03 to go in this 4th quarter. Coleman stopped at the 49-yard line. Gain of 2. How should Jackson State go about using these 3 timeouts, Jay?
I'm always a big fan of if you get a good stop on first down, then you use them right away. They're electing to hold them right now. I don't know if I necessarily go along with that one. I'd call timeouts, but it goes 50-50 at this point.
I was expecting a timeout right after that.
I would have too, and you see Southern's going to take their time breaking the huddle. Be careful for a reverse or some type of play like that that has big risk reward but can still be tackled in play if you're Jackson State.
Play clock at 3 when they snap it, and Coleman will mark him down at the 46. It'll be a 3rd and a huge 4. Long 3. Terrell with the stop, and once again they elect not to use a timeout.
Which is somewhat surprising, but I think their mindset is they want to save the timeouts for the offense maybe, but the flip side of that is when you have the ball with no timeout, you can still control
more control, right?
Yeah.
Big play, 3rd down and 3. Coleman running right will be stopped. Now they have to use a timeout, or at least they better.
They seem to be holding on to those timeouts real close, but I would clearly call the timeout now.
And they do. With 2:26 to go. Jay, while we have a moment, give me 5 of your top HBCU Hall of Fame candidates.
Yeah, and these are people that should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, I think it starts with Donnie Shell, not in the Hall of Fame in the NFL. Come on, man. South Carolina State Steel Curtain, you know what he did. Number 4, Robert Brazile. The name Dr. Doom. Look at that. 7 Pro Bowls. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Come on, are you kidding me? Number 3, Aeneas Williams, Southern University. He needs to go 8 Pro Bowls. Number 2, Ken Riley. I've been saying it all along. 5th all-time career interception leader in the history, still to this day. Number 1, Michael Strahan, Texas Southern. We're here in H-Town, Houston. He's got to get up in the Hall of Fame as well. But when you look at Jackson State and Southern with Aeneas Williams and Robert Brazile, those folks need to get in, and Ken Riley clearly needs to. Some work to be done. Get it right, committee.
It's Brown back to receive this punt from Soden. Of course, last thing Jackson State wants to do is run into the punter again and extend this drive and in essence end the game. Fair catch called for and taken at the 10 by Brown. So a 37-yard punt from Soden. Jackson State with 2 timeouts will start from there. The SWAC title on the line when we come back.
Let's do.
At the end of the first half, the best drive of the first half for Jackson State came on the final one, Jay.
Yeah, it took 54 seconds, 5 consecutive completions by Clayton Moore. I think the key was he got off to a fast start, completed that first pass, and easily moved the ball down the field. Does he have one more drive like that in him?
He was effective in the hurry-up. Can he continue that? 2:20 to play. The SWAC title game. Jackson State down 3, beginning at their own 10. Moore across the middle in a crowd. Pendleton to the 21. Late flag. There may have been some helmet-to-helmet contact there, causing the drop. It's 57, Javon Allen on the coverage. Pendleton was definitely slow getting up.
Personal foul. Defense number 57. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Moore tried to thread this ball in a small window. They've been pretty consistent calling that all year. It's just a matter of you just have to go lower if you're a defender. That's a tough one there because he was going to try and run through the tackle, but I think it's been the message has been clear all year long. They're going to call that every time.
Officials come in here.
And there's supposed to be an ejection that goes along with that call. But he didn't call targeting unless I missed it. Did he just call?
He just called the personal foul. Did not call targeting.
That's unique.
Here's a first down. Jackson State, their own 25. Again, they don't need a touchdown or 3 to tie this game and try to send it to overtime. Ryan Deasing, their field goal kicker, his career long is a 41-yarder. His season long this year is 39 yards. Perkins. First down up near the 40. 15-yard gain.
Good throw to the outside. Perkins makes the catch. Able to get out of bounds, stop the clock. They kept it rolling. They marked him down inbounds.
Moore finds Fosselman, who breaks a tackle down the sideline, out of bounds at the 37, 38-yard line. Whew. Here we go.
What a football game. What a football game. These two teams are laying it on the line.
Jackson State, who lost in the SWAC title game last year in overtime to Arkansas Pine Bluff at Legion Field in Birmingham.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1:49.
And another 3 seconds. Jackson's last SWAC title, 2007. Last one for Southern, 2003. Again, Deasing's career-long field goal is 41, which would mean they need to get to about the 23, but they've got a lot more on their mind right now than that.
If I'm Southern, I'm putting 2 defenders on Zach Pendleton. This is Pendleton here lined up in the slot. He's the one that can really hurt you.
Goes to Pendleton. Underneath the 31-yard line. Virgil Williams covering. Clock rolls after a gain about 6 or 7.
Good job here. Slow down the tempo a little bit. Just make sure everybody hears the calls. The clock is no longer your enemy.
Moore finds Pendleton. Yeah, I don't think he made the first down, even with forward progress, so it'll be close but short. Here's Desing again, career-long 41, hit for 32 today. 39 is his long of this season. Desing had a couple of field goals in the first meeting this year with Southern. Those proved to be the difference in a 5-point win for Jackson State. Going for it, Moore on his own first down. 53 seconds to go.
Well, no problem here calling a timeout, just regrouping, making sure you're on the same page with everybody.
Clock is running. 2 timeouts for Jackson State. Moore kept it. Still keeping. 15. Down to the 11. Clock will stop to move the chains. Finally brought down by Kevin King. Well, they want to use a timeout here despite the clock stopping to move the chains, and that's going to be the case.
State. This is the second charge timeout of the half. This is the 32nd timeout.
Well, this season is called unfinished business for Jackson State because of last season in Birmingham at Legion Field. Clayton Moore ran for a touchdown, threw another. Tigers were up 21-7 in that game just before intermission, but Moore hit by linebacker Xavier Lofton. Bill Ross scooped it up, raced 73 yards. That was a big play. And then Golden Lions, a 95-yard touchdown pass. Ben Anderson to Willie Young. And then Tyler Strickland's 29-yard field goal in OT. 24-21. Arkansas Pine Bluff with their first ever SWAC football title. A heartbreaker, no doubt, for Coach Comagee and the Tigers. Can they finish the business this year? Coming up at the end of our game, it's the Lexus HBCU post-game report with highlights and analysis from today's game.
So I'll look at Coach Comagee over there with his longtime assistant and friend Jack Bush. They've been through some wars together doing the time management.
Certainly within field goal range for Desing. 1 timeout, 33 seconds left. Moore keeping, looking. Now he's going to run with it and is pulled out of bounds. A late flag and a face mask, it appeared, at the 11. Arthur Miley may have gotten the grill of Clayton Moore.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. Half a distance to the goal. First down.
So it's going to be first and goal just outside the 5.
Yeah, this is just Moore just creating, making something happen. And
wasn't much.
High. Wasn't much. More of a helmet grab than a face mask. But they're going to protect the quarterbacks. And right now, if you're Southern, they won overtime. Southern has 3 overtime games this year. That's the most in the FCS this year.
And they beat Prairie View in 2 overtimes. Beat Alabama A&M in 2 OTs. Lost to Alcorn State in overtime.
If they get to overtime, they'll take it right now because things are not looking good if you're Southern University.
So Southern uses a timeout. 26 seconds left in this SWAC championship game. The Eddie Robinson finalist for the top head coach in the FCS, Buddy Pugh from South Carolina State. Rod Reed, Tennessee State, and Jay Hobson from Alcorn State. Alcorn State beat both of these teams this year.
They're the team. That's a program that's on the rise down there in Norman, Mississippi, on the reservation. Rod Reed did a fantastic job with Tennessee. Right there in the thick of things all throughout the season.
Well, this game has had Some not pretty moments, but it's certainly been entertaining all the way through, and the SWAC title has come down to this.
You have to blitz Clayton Moore right now. You have to sell out, do a sellout blitz, bring the kitchen sink, and force Jackson State to call a timeout.
Lost football, and Moore jumped on it. Back at the 12, they'll use their final timeout. Daniel Brown was in the area to maybe knock that out. I don't know if there was any contact initially or not, but it came loose.
The run game is all on Clayton Moore. They put a lot on him. Maybe just riding it out too much, but great penetration from the outside coming from Daniel Brown. Unblocked, gets a running start, able to dislodge the football, and Jackson State fortunate to maintain possession.
There's a loose football on that play, Jay, sitting at the 11-12 yard line, and it may as well be the SWAC trophy, because that's what it is. Who wants it more? Who wants it more?
Like a rugby scrum right there, huh? Just go down and get it. But think how that play changes the whole dynamic now. Jackson State no longer the luxury of having an extra timeout. Any throws they make have to be in the end zone or towards the sidelines. And I don't know how risky you are with the football, throwing the ball, considering what a sack will do in terms of bringing you further back for a field goal attempt.
Second and goal from the 11. No timeouts for JSU. 17 seconds left. Moore sacked. No timeouts. Allen, they're going to try to spike it.
They need to hurry up. Tick, 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 tick.
The Southern players trying to get onside, and they do spike it. We'll have time for a game-tying field goal.
And they need to hurry up and get this field goal unit out there. They're walking around talking to each other. Get folks off the field. They said there's 1 second left. Wow.
1 second left in a field goal try. Sounds like Auburn, Alabama a little bit. 37-yard attempt for Deasing.
Timeout. Southern University. This is the second charge timeout of the half.
Boy, Dawson Odums is fired up. I think he believes this game should be over.
I don't know. I mean, it seemed as if, you know, it did take a while for them to get up there, but it seemed like the game clock never went to zero. And Moore snapped the ball before it got to zero. Well, this is a danger. An Olay block by the left guard, Danny Williams. And right now, everybody has to rush to get to the line of scrimmage.
And Allen, who makes the sack, he thinks it's over. He's running towards midfield. He's got to get back behind the line of scrimmage.
And it was a good job by Clayton Moore of telling everybody, come on, let's get here. Let's spike the ball.
Well, Deasing will attempt to send this to overtime. He's 1 for 1 today. Hit a 32-yarder. This is a 37-yard attempt. Again, his career long is 41, season long 39, so certainly well within his range. For overtime in the SWAC title game. Timeout call. He missed it, but timeout. And Southern, I think.
Called the timeout.
And Dawson Odums thinking, oh my goodness, I tried to ice him and he missed it. He's going to get another chance. What haven't we had in this game, Jay?
You see him. He alerted him. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Timeout. He called it.
And then he went wide left with the kick. Deasing did. Here's the actual kick, which doesn't count, obviously, but had he not called the timeout, would have, and this game would be over, and Southern would be conference champs.
And something to be noted, the ball is favoring the right hash. Most kickers, when you get a little distance, they don't want these tough angles. College hash marks are wider than in the NFL. This is by no means an easy field goal because you have to pull the ball from right to left.
No timeouts left on either side, so this is it for overtime or for a title for Southern. Gets it away, and we're headed to overtime.
Wow.
With a second opportunity, Ryan Deasing knocks it in from 37 yards, and it's tied at 27. What a finish to regulation.
And this was not a clean hit. He didn't catch this ball cleanly. He knew it right away, but
we didn't.
That ball started to dance towards the end. He had to pull it a little bit. I thought he might have pulled it a little too much, but
it was going left again.
He got it through the uprights.
Austin Odom's thinking, shouldn't have called that last time. Coach Kamaji and the Tigers still have some unfinished business. We all have some unfinished business. Going to overtime. Let's take it to rules. Coin toss to choose offense, defense into the field. Even though we're at the FCS, these are the same rules as the FBS.
But I think it really applies to that first rule here, because normally if you're at home, you have a little advantage. You put people on the student side. So whoever wins this coin toss, that kind of, you can direct them going towards your student section, towards your band. So that'll come into play here.
Ryan Deasing, 37-yard field goal as time expires to send this SWAC championship game to overtime.
We're in overtime. You will each get one memory starting at the 25-yard line. You will both get one timeout. You will call the toss, and the option is to play defense, offense, or the side of the field you're going to play on. After the second overtime, you must go for 2.
Well, for Jackson State, this must be deja vu all over again. They went to overtime last year in the SWAC title game.
You want to go on defense first. Which side of the field you want to play?
Southern won the toss. They're going to go on defense.
Don't play down here. Good luck, gentlemen.
So he wants to go. They want to defend the Jackson State portion of the stadium, and for Southern University, this would be a business as usual for them. Their 4th overtime game this year. Already led FCS. Well, now they're just growing on their lead.
Well, these teams played late in September in the regular season, and Jackson State, thanks to Deasing's 2 field goals, won by 5. And that game was played in Baton Rouge at Southern.
I think one of the questions that we had going into this game was, how does Southern win? And I remember talking on the whip around the Darius today when he asked, how can Southern beat Jackson State? So you got a quarterback, and if the offense shows up, the offense in the first matchup did not show up. They were held to 14 points, half their season average. Well, now they've got 27 points. That's more like the Southern offense we've seen. Thus, they're able to compete and still have a chance to win a championship with 27 points on the board.
It'll begin from the 25 here in overtime. No game clock, just a play clock. Pitch running right, Gooden for a yard to the 24. Tackle by Javon Allen.
And right now, Jackson State, they're in a bind. I mean, offensive coordinator Derek McCall, what do you go with? I mean, when the game started, your game plan was run the football. That didn't really work, and you had success with a hurry-up, no-huddle passing attack. Which offensive plan do they use?
Virginia, Wisconsin, Green Bay coming your way. And we're finished here. It is on ESPN3 late in the first half.
Number 79, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
J-Dale Roy, the right tackle. A false start will move him back 5. 4th false start for Jackson State in this game. The pitch to Gooden. For the 22, it's going to set up a 3rd and 7. Who's going to get their mitts on that? The SWAC championship trophy. We are in overtime from Reliant Stadium in Houston. Moore across the middle. Oh, picked off. He can win it on a return. Flag down. He's pulled down out of bounds at the 35. The flag looks like it's on the return. So Southern, regardless of this call, should get the football at the 25 with a chance to win it with a field goal or a touchdown when they get the ball.
During the return, an illegal block below the waist against the defense. By rule, that penalty would be declined. It will be first down at the 25 of Southern University.
Anthony Balasier with his 3rd interception of the season. So now Southern.
Balasier was a guy that we pointed out as an impact player. Had to make an impact on offense and defense. And you see him here. This is just great reaction. The ball's thrown a little bit high, knocked in the air. Good hands by the linebacker to hold on to the football and put his team in a tremendous position to win a conference championship game.
And Southern, I don't want to say, Jay, they can play this conservatively, but in many ways, this is their game to lose now.
Keep in mind, they don't run the football well, so any running yardage they get will be a plus.
And artillery to the 19, so that's a pretty good run on first down of 6. Tackled by Arion McCree.
I think if you're Jackson State right now, no need in having 2 safeties high. I'm bringing these folks down closer in the box. Run support, get them up to the line of scrimmage, dare Southern throw the ball. Now they've got him there. That's a sellout blitz. Good call.
And a tackle for loss back at the 22. So from there, you're looking at about a 39-yard field goal for Greg Pittman, who's hit 2 today, 41 and 44.
Good sellout blitz. Everybody has a gap, nowhere to go. More bodies than they have blockers. Leaves you vulnerable on the outside, but at this point you have to dare Southern to go ahead and win the football game if they're willing to risk putting the ball in the air.
Third down and 7. Keep it conservative here, Jay. Go for the field goal.
I mean, I would, but
he's going to go towards the end zone in the win and incomplete. And now Quinn holding the hamstring. He has had a couple of touchdown catches today, and he comes up gimpy after that. But the game's going to come down now to a field goal attempt for Greg Pittman to try to win it. He's hit from 41 and 44.
Even if you've never played kicker before in your life, you've had this image and dream once upon a time playing in a field of grass about a game-winning field goal.
Each team gets a timeout in overtime, and Jackson State will use theirs.
This is a first and final timeout of this overtime period.
Try to ice Pittman.
This is a 32nd timeout.
And what's going to be a 39-yard attempt to win the SWAC championship.
And he's out there all by his lonesome. Take a look. Get a little wide shot. There is nobody within 20 yards of Pittman right now. And, you know, kickers are a different breed. Some kickers like that. Others want to act like, hey, I'm one of the fellas and go in the huddle. He's electing to stay in the middle of the field by himself, getting his psyche together. We'll see if that's the right thing to do.
By the way, Wisconsin Green Bay leading Virginia 37-31. That has gone to the half. We'll get you to that game as soon as we're finished here. Jackson State a year ago, Jay, lost the SWAC championship in overtime on a field goal. Here we are a year later, and Southern can bring that dagger out again. Greg Pittman from 39 yards for the SWAC championship. It's low, and he missed it, and we play on. That one never looked good off the foot. And a sigh of relief for Jackson State. And we're headed to a second overtime.
I mean, this ball doesn't have much elevation, not much accuracy. Pulled it hard left, and it was low. Let's do it again.
So why not? Overtime number 2 coming up after this. Overtime number 2. The Jackson State fans, their heart beating again. Of course, the way the overtime rules work, the offense for Southern right back on the field at the other end of the field. A pass completion to Menard, but he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage by McCree.
And this football game has gotten to the point where you're talking with Mitch, who's helping us with stats. It's gone beyond kickers. Right now, you're not putting this game in the hands of any kicker right now. Put it in the end zone. You almost take that mindset. No more field goals. We have to score a touchdown if we want to win.
The 2013 SWAC Championship presented by McDonald's inside Reliant Stadium in Houston. Glad to have you with us. Mark Neely with Jay Walker. We're in the second overtime. Jackson State tied it with a field goal at the end of regulation. Thomas to Doss. Makes a move. 20 on his feet still. Going more east-west than north-south, though, and a stop to the 21. Terrell and Hogan.
And I like the play call to get the ball in the playmaker's hands. This type of football game, see if he can make something happen on the outside. They snuck him in the backfield there. You think with the wide receiver speed that Southern would have, if you can't go vertically down the field, some crossing routes, hit guys in stride, crossing the formation, finding the soft spot.
Quinn, who was holding his hamstring, and that first overtime is in the slot at the top of your screen. Thomas does find Doss, and that's a first down at the 14-yard line, tackled by McCree. '89, Mike Jones is the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Showing blitz. Thomas kept it. It's almost a battle between him and the back to keep that.
Risky ball handling here by Dre Joseph, but to let you know he's doing a good job with a firm grasp on the football. Anytime the running back couldn't take it from him. That's how you want to secure the ball when you're running that read option.
Lost a couple, second down and 12. Going towards Doss. He's in. Touchdown. Lee Doss sneaks inside the pylon. Sutton with the coverage, but a 16-yard score here in the second overtime.
Nice job on the route, the recognition. You're going to see him just come and run a wheel route along the sideline. Picture perfect throw. And before that ball was snapped, I started thinking this is Dre Joseph's moment to join the likes of a Quincy Richard and the Eric Randall, some of the legendary championship quarterbacks from Southern University. He sees the moment, and right now the Jaguars are up by 7.
Pittman with the extra point, and now Jackson knows what they need to do. They need a touchdown and point after to try to send this to a third overtime. Or a touchdown and convert 2. They want to roll the dice and try to win it, but that's a ways down the road for the Tigers.
And right now, if you're Jackson State, if you're Clayton Moore and you know the history of the program, you say, hey, this is my opportunity to come back and join the likes of a guy like Jimmy Oliver, who took him to a championship, or Graylin Pratt or Darryl Arsbury, all the legendary quarterbacks that they've had. If you know your history, and you're a history buff like I tend to be, seize the moment and achieve.
Some history being made right here. Southern trying to win the Southwestern Athletic Conference for the first time in 10 years. Jackson State, their last conference title in '07. That's Gooden. The 22 for 3 yards. Gooden looking around like he lost something. He did. Shoot. That will be something that you'll be looking for if you lose it.
Well, I'm surprised the official's not going to give him a whistle to help him out.
Play clock at 16. Going towards the end zone, and Pendleton, some contact, flag. It's going to be 1st and goal. Jackson State. Virgil Williams, number 7 on the coverage. Why not take a shot like they just did?
Pass interference. Defense number 7. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
And what they did, which was helpful, they went to a double tight end set. Everything says they're going to run the football. Maximum protection. They knew where they would get one-on-one on the outside. Their big play receiver, Pendleton, versus Virgil Williams in the secondary, who's their nickel back. Pendleton almost came down with this ball anyway.
He did. So 1st and goal from the 7. And this is good. To the 5 for 2 yards. Stopped by West. Neither team scored in the first overtime.
And this is where the Southern faithful need to be making as much noise as they can. Don't allow Clayton Moore to communicate so openly with his teammates.
Moore dropped at the 5. Went to the fullback. Kapler, Stedman Kapler, who does have 1 touchdown catch this year.
And great penetration by Anthony Balancier, because there was an open wide receiver. The second read was open in the back of the end zone on a crossing route, but Moore did not have time to go to a second read. Forced to get rid of the football. 3rd and goal.
Tigers know they have 4th down to try to get it in, knowing they need a touchdown to extend this game.
Surprised he's not in the shotgun.
Option, keeping. No gain. Balancier again with a hit. And the game's going to come down to 4th and goal from the 5 for Jackson State. Once again, the SWAC championship on the line. Jackson State. We do have a timeout at their disposal.
Breaking the huddle with 8 seconds, I will call timeout. You have to call your best play.
Final timeout in this overtime period.
Smart play. And a smart choice in calling the timeout there. If you're going to break the huddle with less than 10 seconds left, you have a timeout, 1 play to go. Don't rush it. Make sure everybody's on the same page.
Well, they did break the huddle and head out into that formation. What'd you see? What do you think they do on 4th and 5?
I think you have to try and get a rub. You're close enough in there where you can get some rub. You look for a pre-snap read. If they're going to give you the open look with a pre-snap read, you take the open receiver by the distance. But in this case here, you got to think some type of crossing route and get a little contact for a little pick play. And that play should involve Zachary Pendleton, because he's one of those talents that even if they cover it, he can still make the catch if you're forced to throw the ball into double coverage.
Glad you could be with us from Reliant Stadium in Houston. The 2013 SWAC Championship presented by McDonald's. Neither team scored in the first OT. Jackson State kicked a field goal at the end of regulation to send us to overtime. They need a touchdown here to extend the game, or Southern wins the conference. Moore has him wide open, but he's out of bounds. And the game's over.
No.
The flag is down, but that's because it's illegal touching. He had him wide open.
Tommy Gooden lost where he was on the football field, drifted out of bounds.
The previous play is under review.
Well, they're going to review it, but there's no doubt Gooden was out of bounds when he caught the ball. Really shouldn't even be a flag. It's just he was out of bounds.
Yes.
It's a flag if he's out of bounds, comes back in bounds, and catches the ball without being forced out by a defender. This should just be an incomplete pass.
You see Gooden steps out of bounds right there. Out of bounds. Plays over. Even before the catch. stepped out of bounds before the ball got to him. Just lost where he was on the field. And that's going to end it for the hopes of Jackson State getting a title.
So it looks like for the second straight year, Jackson State will lose the conference championship in overtime.
Receiver stepped out of bounds. Therefore, that is an incomplete pass. The ball game is over.
For the first time since 2003, the Southern Jaguars are the Southwestern Athletic Conference champions. They win it in 2 overtimes over Jackson State, 34-27. And we welcome you to the Lexus HBCU post-game reports. Wow. That's all I can say. Mark Neely, along with Jay Walker from inside Reliant Stadium. How about that football game?
I'm worn out. I don't know about you. It had everything you wanted. It had the highs, the lows, the turnovers, the misplays, the great coaching, the bands, the fans, everything. What a fantastic first SWAC championship here in Houston.
Well, Jackson State kicked a field goal at the end of regulation to send this to overtime. Neither team scored in the first overtime, thanks to an interception there, Balancier, and then a field goal attempt. Pittman with the miss, and we went to a second overtime. And Dre finds Doss.
And that was a big-time play there. Then it all came down to this 4th down. Clayton Moore buying some time for Jackson State, puts some air on the ball, running back. Tommy Gooden steps out of bounds before he makes the catch, and Southern University are the SWAC champions.
And a quarterback comparison, 329 for Joseph Moore at 261. The 2 picks, though, for Moore with the 2 touchdowns. 3 TDs, no INTs for Joseph.
And both quarterbacks played tremendous in the second half. It became a shootout. What a fantastic game. Congratulations, Coach Odoms.
Virginia, Wisconsin, Green Bay basketball is coming your way next. The Southern Jaguars have won the SWAC championship in 2 overtimes over Jackson State. So happy you could share this one with us. It's been a fun one. For Jay Walker and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Southern, the champs in the SWAC.